welcome to the Raw Obsidian Podcast. My name is Kris. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram at Obsidian Brat, and also the making app at Raw Obsidian Knits. It's another wonderful week of making and knitting, and punch needle and other things. My week has been very busy. Zaz is on the precipice of toddlerhood, so we are walking and have sleep regression and teething and attitudes and risk taking and doing all of the things. So I am very tired. It feels like there's not enough coffee in the entire world that can pull me out of the depths of this exhaustion. Yeah. But yet I'm still here, still knitting, still making. I've made some progress on some things. And I want to keep at it. Today I am wearing my Golden Hour shawl by Andrea Mowry, because it's kind of chilly today. Here's my shawl. I omitted the bottom eyelet part because yardage, but also I just didn't want a really big shawl. But here it is in all of its glory. Some baubles, picot bind off. It's chilly. And this thing is so woolly and warm. I love it. I love it so much. This week I have whips. Well, I do have whips, but I only have one that I've worked on. So let's talk about whips. All right. So I have made some progress on my coat for Roxanne. I finished the body, and I'm very proud. It's got a 3x1 bind off, or not bind off, but ribbing on the bottom. And I finished the body. I thought it was gonna take me forever, but I did it. I started on my sleeve. Let me tell you, y'all, I am a double pointed needle person. And it's not because I think I'm better than anybody else or that it's the most superior of all ways to make things. It's simply because it's what I learned, and I have really good tension using double pointed needles. Now, I didn't use double pointed needles for this because I don't have a 5.5 millimeter double pointed needle set. So I had to learn how to do magic loop to knit my sleeve. And my first attempt at magic loop was not too long ago, but I just I wanted to try it, and so I cast something on just to practice magic loop, not for a project or anything. And it wasn't clicking in my brain, and I hated it. I really hated it. And that's just me trying something new. I often get all in my feelings about it because I'm a Virgo rising, and I just want things to be good. I want to get it the first time and not have a problem, and I had such a problem. So the second attempt was much easier. I think I also found a video that wasn't so confusing on YouTube. And lo and behold, we are knitting a sleeve using magic loop, and it's been really nice. Will I continue using double pointed needles? Probably. But I'm going to also keep magic loop in my toolbox. And I'm going to determine whether to use double pointeds or magic loop on a project by project basis. I think that's really a smart thing to do, because some methods work better than others, depending on the project, depending on the yarn, depending on you as a knitter. I know my tension, and I know it works good for my tension, and I have had to be a little bit more mindful of my tension with the sleeve here than I normally would, but it's okay, we're working it out, and we're working it out really nicely. I'm very proud of myself. My cables on this are still looking very beautiful. I love the cables. I don't know why, I kept, because while I was learning magic loop, I didn't want to lose my spot. So I kept my waste yarn in my sleeve, just in case I needed to like rip back and be like, you know what, I'm just going to order double pointeds. But I got it, thankfully, so I can pull this out and everything should be okay. But yeah, this is going to be wonderful when it's finished. I'm going to do both sleeves, the hood, and then the button band. I've never knit a hood before. I've never done a button band. This is my first cardigan / coat that I've ever made. So yeah, we're like checking off some knitting skills with this project, and I'm really happy about it. I feel like I needed a challenging knit. I was kind of stuck in a rut for a bit, and this coat is just doing it for me. And so is monogamous knitting. It's serving me pretty well. I keep like getting the itch to cast on, and then I'm like, you know what, I have this thing, I really want to finish it. And so I haven't cast on anything new, which is nice. So here we are. Coat for Roxanne. Fits like a dream. I'm very excited to get this finished and off the needles and on to the next. I have not made any progress on any of my socks. And I have not made any progress on any spinning, my poor spinning wheel, because it's just been really busy, and I've really got into the groove of like trying to finish the body of my coat. So that's the only whip I worked on this week. Let's move on to finished objects. So I finished my leaf punch needle. Here it is. Oh God. Let's see. There we go. And it is looking lovely. I'm very proud of it. I need to find a home for this. The canvas that I have is not quite the right size. So I am going to look for another canvas that I can add this to, so I can add it to my sweet little embroidery cross stitch wall behind me. And then I can start another punch needle project using the monk's cloth that I ordered that I talked about last week. But this is so nice. I love the color variants, all of the different hues of green. This is going to be a really nice wall hanging. I'm actually really excited about this. But yeah, this is my only finished object. Let's talk about acquisitions. Someone in my Fiverr group was offloading a bunch of quilting fabric. And I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but I really, really want to make quilts. I want to start quilting. I want to hone some skills. I want to make some blankets because I love a good quilted blanket. and we need more blankets around the house for like when guests stay over, and I want to make Zaz a quilt for their birthday every couple of years. So yeah, so they offloaded a lot of really cool quilting fabric. And so I'm gonna start dabbling in quilting. It's like a decent sized box, like this big, full of fabric. A lot of it is pre-cut, some of it isn't. There's a couple of panels in there that I might just make into a pillow, because it's not quite my jam as far as the panel goes. But it'll make a great pillow, that's for sure. So yeah, I got my neighbor across the street, Bridget, shared her Craftsy subscription with me, so I'll be taking some classes on Craftsy that are quilting related. I also saw that they had some spinning and like other knitting classes on there, so I'll probably do that too, because heck yeah, I love a free class. And I love learning new skills that pertain to making, so there's that. I will be starting to quilt fairly soon. Yeah, and then also another thing that Bridget shared with me is some very lovely books and magazines, y'all. So in Bridget's words, she's a hoarder of books and things and loves a good craft book, among other types of books. But she was offloading some books, so of course I had to take some off of her hands. So I got this Threads sewing guide, and this should come in handy for when I am just honing my sewing skills. I really don't have like a visual sewing book. I've had a few visual knitting books like Stitch and Bitch, and a couple of others, but nothing sewing related. So I have this book. It's very cool. Oh, quilt pattern. Look at that, pretty cool. I'm gonna try this one out for my beginner quilt endeavors. But it's got things like grain and how to cut out patterns, types of stitches, how to make curved seams and corners. Like, this is like a perfect book on how to do things. Pockets. Who loves a good pocket diagram? I love a good pocket diagram. So this book is going to come in handy. I'm so excited about it. Next, which I think it will make everybody kind of swoon. Who remembers when specialty crafting magazines had like, or companies had like big magazines or catalogs? I remember seeing them in like Joann's or Michael's when I would go with family members to go get craft supplies, or my grandma, because she loved to get like those silk flowers, and so I'd see the magazines a lot there. But check out this throwback Rowan catalog, or Rowan knitting magazine. This is knitting magazine number 29. What year is this? What is the year? I need to know the year. 2001. Oh my god, I was 11 years old when this came out. So she had this magazine, and like, look at the stylings, y'all. Like, the sweaters. Oh my god, where's... These are like super funny and like really cool to see, because some of these styles are coming back. Like, look at that. that. That's actually a really timeless sweater. But like, look at these. They're just absolutely high fashion. And then of course they've got the patterns in the back. But like, isn't this cool? Like, very cool. Who are the designers on here? Do I recognize anyone? Nope, I don't recognize anybody on here. But a Rowan magazine. We've got this Sweaters to Knit and Crochet, circa 1960. Check these out. Just like really classic. I love a vintage knitting magazine. I really do. Norwegian sweaters. Very cool. Also like 1960 or 1970. I can't really tell. Singer, quick and easy sewing projects. I mostly got this because there's this, here it is. I'm gonna make one of these like hooded towels for Zaz because it looks really cool. And then a giant stack of interweave knits, magazines. They are all probably from like the early 2000s. Yeah, 2008, the year I graduated. 2005, you know, just a ton of these, you know. And that's it. So I have lots of reading materials, lots of quilting materials. Very excited. Anyways, I believe that is that for this week's episode of the podcast. We'll see how much progress I get on my coat and other knits, in my spinning. We'll just see, you know, taking life in stride. I appreciate every single one of you who watch this podcast and support all of the things that I do. Please don't forget to like and subscribe below. Ring the bell if you want to get notifications when I upload this podcast. I do upload every weekend. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. Bye.